Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options in Play video update. Question has come up, I guess, basically each day this week regarding quad witching, quadruple witching, which is this Friday, so tomorrow. And it's mostly the questions revolve around option pinning, right? Because with these significant expiration cycles or periods. So once every 3 months, we get these larger expiration periods, and you have a lot of open interest that's built up over the course of several months. And people ask me how I approach it and whether I do anything revolving like pinning, so option pinning. If you aren't familiar with option pinning, definitely go back and check it out. I've done some videos on it in the past. Um, but to be honest, the reason why I don't focus on it as much and talk about it as often is because I don't really actually actively trade uh, into expiration. So I don't design strategies for these quad witching days or triple witching days, and I don't oftentimes trade with like the design of the trade revolving around option pinning. Okay, and I guess the reason is twofold. First, I look what I look for in trades is a little bit different, and the second being that I don't necessarily see like the success rate as high on those types of ideas. That doesn't mean that there isn't some relevancy to it. I mean, like the idea of pinning is a legitimate one. It's just a little bit different, and I don't think it's necessarily a tradable idea that works for me. So let me give you an example. So SPY, going into expiration tomorrow, the highest open interest is currently sitting down at 300 strike options. All right, so you can see here, 300 strike options have about 200 and 237. So you have the on the call side, and then on the put side here, the open interest. You can see the open interest. This is the column OI. So as we were to head into tomorrow, people that subscribe to the option pinning theory would say that the SPY should gravitate and close right at 300 for the pinning idea to work, right? And while that might end up being the case, to me, like with the spiders currently trading at 311, that seems more like a long shot, right? So I wouldn't necessarily be shorting the SPY or looking at bearish strategies, assuming that the SPY is going to drop into 300, because if there's outside news or other news to move the market, then the whole idea of option pinning kind of gets blown out of the water, all right? So just because they're the largest open interest is, either above or below a stock, doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to be shorting or buying that stock, anticipating that it closes right there. Now, hypothetically, say SPY tomorrow. So say perhaps that it is getting hit tomorrow, right? And by like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's trading around like 301.50, 302. Then in that case, then I might actually say like there's a chance that this does pin 300, because as people have to adjust like their net delta. So people that are short options either have to look to short the stock, right, to like cover, or people that are long the calls might look to sell, kind of pressuring the stock lower. So it kind of creates like this window around the option, around like that option strike level, where people that are long are selling to lock in gains, or people that are short delta need to like buy if it starts to break underneath 300 to like to lock in their or hedge out their delta, right? So there are scenarios where if it is close to it, then I would actually say that there's a possibility, but it's not just like I'm staring at it going into tomorrow and saying, oh, this is going to drop to 300 because that's the largest open interest. But if late in the session on Friday, so tomorrow, it's trading close to 300, then I might say, oh, okay, now there's a possibility because of the way that the hedging and people closing out potentially rolling or like hedging out their net delta, then in that case, maybe it does get down there and start to pin. But like again, I'll be waiting later in the session for that to play out. I wouldn't necessarily be designing a strategy early in the week, or even like today, I wouldn't necessarily be like designing a strategy looking for that. But if we get later in the day tomorrow, like 3:30, right before the close, and it's in that area, then yeah, maybe I will look at like to see if the options do pin that 300 because there's a lot of open interest there. All right. So again, I don't talk about this as much is because I don't really trade it that much. So that's the reason why. But there were a bunch of questions on it, and I figured I might as well take the time to go over it. So let me know what you think. All right. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information on options education, so talking about pinning, rolling, all things options trading related, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options in play. All right, great night, stay well, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.